you went through the application process, but then now you'll be preparing for a visa. Hopefully when you reach this step, it's pretty straightforward in general, but depends on the program. If you're a scholarship student, very smooth. You get your documents, including a proof that you're a scholarship student, give it to the embassy. They will have a sort of background check, I don't know, because even if you're a scholarship student, they do want to know whether you have enough support in case of emergencies, so you have to keep this in mind. But otherwise, everything will be fine. You will always need the documents that they will send you from the school. It should be enough. It will be about your housing, your certificate of enrollment, expected date of graduation, I think, registration, school, business registration, or something like that, and your scholarship paper certificate. But if you're not on a scholarship, which was my case, my second time, they will ask for the money. They will ask for you to have about 10 million won, better $10,000 actually, in your bank. And it's not required, but it's very helpful to have a Korean sponsor. Now that's not available to everybody, so better get a scholarship or a very good financial background. And once you submit your documents, actually these are English or Korean, translated, notarized. You submit everything to the embassy. They will review your documents. For language training, I think it takes about a month, but yeah, just think it might take a month, 2 weeks, minimum 2 weeks. It really depends, but yeah, and then they will interview you. If you say you know somebody or you have somebody in Korea, they will call this person and ask information. So don't lie. Okay, yeah, that's it. Visa is very straightforward. I have nothing to say about this. How much did it cost to apply for the visa? 얘들아, 혹시 naman yung application ng visa nila? Okay, I don't remember. He doesn't remember. Yeah, there's also a website where you can see that, and maybe additional information I will addition somewhere at some point. But yeah, visa is very straightforward. Now, last part, you got your visa, yay! Coming to Korea after getting your visa. Obviously, you supposedly had a flight ticket, but you could not get an actual flight ticket until you got your visa, right? You got a flight ticket and you're flying to Korea. It might be your first time. I don't remember anymore what it looked like for me. Maybe I'll have a talk with my brother about this. But one thing that happened that I ranted about is that when my brother was at some other, okay, first when he was at the Madagascar airport, you know how these guys are? You can be very lucky. At some point, when I was at the airport, the guy was like, go and make your country proud. Study well, girl. That's what happened to me, I think. But for my brother, it was a different story. You know, I don't know exactly who, why, how. But your airport experience in Madagascar will be very different, depending on the day and the person who's there. But if you make it through, and you will make it through the airport after they bother you, what happened to my brother was that he didn't have a return flight ticket. Why? Because the Korean embassy, actually, they will not provide you a visa for the entirety of your education in Korea. They will give you approximately, I think 3 months it was 3 months for me. And once you get to Korea, that's when you change your visa grant and you get a residency card. And so my whole life, I did not have to get like a return flight ticket. But for my brother, he had to. He didn't know that because I didn't do that every single time I came to Korea. And I don't think we should do that because it's procedure, right? But to be safe, you can either have another $2,000 that's just sitting in your account or in somebody's account for emergencies, and the same thing will happen to you that happened to me. It's not an emergency, it's your entire money for a couple months, right? But they will ask for this flight ticket, so it will just be blocked for a couple days, hopefully. And then you can just cancel it. I think it's ridiculous. Oh wow. And then you get to Korea. And once you get to Korea, somebody asked me this question actually. How do you go from the airport to before you get to the airport? I mean, once you get to the airport, you have to get through immigration before you get your luggages. So, number one, when you go through transit, because there is no direct flight from Madagascar, you should not leave the transit area. Meaning, there's at every airport, and people from other countries will be like, do you have to explain that? But yes, most Malagasys do not get to travel. So when you get to the airport, there will be two ways: the people who are, arriving at this destination, and people who are in transit, people who are just going and moving on to another country. You do not want to follow the people who are arriving, because once you step out of, I forgot the word, but out of the place that you're supposed to be, right? And you're a Malagasy citizen, meaning you have no visa in any country, you will be in trouble. So please make sure, don't just go around and follow people. Find English signs, and if you cannot, number one, get yourself Google Translation, ChatGPT, whatever you need. Get it before you get there. Every other airport will have Wi-Fi. Sometimes you have to log in through your phone number, email, or something like that. Sometimes it's limited, like 1 hour or something. It depends, but first thing you want to do is get Wi-Fi, translate, follow proper directions. Transit, do not arrive, do not leave the airport. Again, I forgot the word, but don't leave. Stay and go where you're supposed to go. And once you do this, you transit, and once you reach Korea, they will have an arrival card. Usually they will distribute this on the airplane, but if they do not, then you have to pick it up before you pass through immigration. And to go through immigration, they will have two sections: the Korean citizens and the foreigners. So you want to go to the foreigners, obviously, and you follow the foreigners, and you get there with your arrival card, right? And now Korean embassy does not provide sticker visa anymore on your passport, but you must have this paper, the visa. You have the printed paper, and by the way, get all your documents printed when you go through the airport so that people don't bother you, because they will. So print everything in several copies, or I don't know. Yeah, so you go through immigration. I don't remember what they do there, but as long as you don't have anything illegal, which, by the way, Malagasys, make sure you pack well. As long as you don't have anything illegal, then you go through. And now you go and get your luggages. And it can be a little bit complicated also because the Korean airport is really big, but maybe I can make another video on this, or I'm sure there is a video on this somewhere. We can all look it up. And then the actual question somebody asked me, you get there, how do you get to your university? I personally want to recommend everybody to download several Korean navigation maps, and then you want to locate your university. At the airport, they will have shuttle buses and they will have subways. I recommend the shuttle bus if it's your first time, because subway can be a little bit complicated, and yeah, it will go anywhere, but it will not necessarily arrive to your university. So get the shuttle bus. Tell them exactly though which university you're going to which city, and then they will say, oh, we don't go all the way there, but we go to this area. So you say, all right, once you get to that area, get a taxi. This might be the only time of your life you want to get a taxi because you're broke and trying to save, but get a taxi because you know nothing and you don't want to get lost on your first day. And you have a lot of heavy luggages. Now in the shuttle bus from the airport, they have luggage section, so you can have up to 3 luggages, the regular big size, a little smaller size, very small size luggage. So yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. But again, moving all of that by yourself, get yourself a taxi, and yeah, you will reach your university. If you go into the dorm, some dorms will have elevators, some will not. So when you pack, think about it. Think about this also when you leave home. Don't pack your entire life useless. There are actual cheap, affordable places in Korea to get like your necessities, and I will also talk about this another time. But yeah, that's basically everything. Thank you for listening. Now I can finally make videos about my university, if you remember, and share people's experiences here. Yeah, I don't know if this was helpful at all, but I hope it is. And if you have questions, please comment, ask me questions. I will try to respond eventually. Thank you for listening. Bye.